What up, Niner faithful? Bay Area unite, baby. We got your back. We're coming with the energy. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're here at Levi Stadium. I don't care if you're in Minnesota, Detroit, Bay Area. Send your energy. This is our year. We've had enough. We've had enough. It's our time. Let's get it.
Oh, man, even in retirement, Hunter Pence is passionate. We remember all those kind of great videos that you used to post or people posted about you, Hunter, when you were firing up the Giants during postseason runs. Doing that for the Niners as a super fan. We appreciate you being on the show. Good to see you, man. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Great to see y'all. What a wonderful place to be, and I've been loving the show as always.
You were at that game, right? That wild NFC Championship game, the come-from-behind win over the Detroit Lions. Take us inside the building there. That must have been a blast.
I mean, it was one of the craziest sporting events I've ever been at. It's just like this Niners group has been through it. They've been to these NFC championships, I think 5 of the last 6 years. They've taken some, the injury to Purdy. They've just had the dropped interception against the Rams. It's been just a wild journey. The loss of the Super Bowl, and you hear Kittle, I'm back with a vengeance. And they got hit so hard in that first half. But I know as a player, in those times when you're getting rocked like that, like getting the fans going, making moves, staying loose, you can't ever get stiff. So I was trying to just get the fans to go crazy on the first little thing, and the Niners that second half did it, and then we just started going crazy every little thing. So I felt like the fans were like invested in having a good time. We were all getting wild. If you couldn't see them below, but they were just like, it was like mosh pit like energy, and man, we were having a blast. And the Niners, man, they played at one of the craziest games I have ever seen. One of the greatest comebacks. The first time ever reversing a 17-point deficit in a championship game.
Hey, Hunter, I know you got a coffee shop and a coffee brand, but is decaf anywhere in the
You know what? Like, I haven't had my first cup yet. I'm just waking up. I made the pot first thing, but it took me too long to fix my hair, Billy.
Hey, I'm glad you mentioned that dropped interception against the Rams, though. I don't think the people around the football world remember that. You pick the ball off, it's over. And they didn't pick the ball off. Hey, take me into watching Brock Purdy, because when we just dropped that piece on Mr. Irrelevant and the last person ever drafted, he certainly doesn't play like it. And I know everybody out in the outside world keeps taking shots after shot after shot, but I'm a big fan of Brock Purdy. Take me what it looks like watching him play every day.
I mean, he's just like, he has a knack for winning. He has a kind of a quiet confidence about him. He has a swagger that all the guys unite around him. And it's a superstar studded Niners team. You're talking, I believe 9 Pro Bowlers and like 10, maybe 10. Like, I don't know the exact number, but they're just Ayuk, Juice, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. This offense, and he's able to use all the weapons, keep everyone happy. You can feel that this team is united, and he's able to run when he needs to run. He's able to avoid a tackle, and he just has that determination when it's time to get it done. He finds a way, and he just keeps winning. He keeps making it happen. He had an MVP caliber season. The guys on the Niners will say he was the MVP, and it's an easy debate that you could argue that. So we're talking about one of the best players in the game at a very, very young point in his career.
Hey, Hunter, when you were playing for the Giants, your career kind of intersected in San Francisco sports lore at a time when the 49ers were leaving Candlestick Park and going to Levi Stadium. And there were some pretty good 49er teams back then in that 13-14 vintage when you were a Giant. Who of those guys did you know? Was there a kinship between the pro sports baseball players and football players at that time?
Yeah, I mean, Alex Smith would come into the batting cage before, on some of those day games and stop by. The Bay Area, getting to play here. I played in all the cities. Philly did it pretty good as well. Houston, they would come around. But they were always, I guess, just coming and hanging out and supporting. The amount of support here throughout all the organizations and the teams was second to none, and it was super cool. And as you got to meet the people and understand how they run their operation, it was easy to become a huge fan of the 49ers. Kaepernick would come around every now and then, Fred Warner, man, you name it, like a lot of the guys up and down. George Kittle I'm friends with. I talked to, he texted me after they won that game. They just are a good group. You see them on the floor at the Warriors game after they just won the NFC Championship, and they're all together. So it's a unique group that really supports each other, and they show up and show out. I remember Kevin Durant coming out all the time. He's a big baseball fan when he was playing with the Warriors on those runs that they had. So he's always out there.
Yeah, Alex Smith, big baseball fan too. A San Diego guy. He was big Padres fan as a kid growing up. Hey, I want to ask you about the day that the Giants had, as we are on now we're on February. I got to look at my calendar. February 5th, 2/4/24. The Giants in the city of San Francisco instituted as Willie Mays Day. Pretty cool to pay homage to one of the all-time greats, the oldest living Hall of Famer. I'm sure you've had experiences with Willie in the past. Talk about what that day means to you and some of your memories with number 24.
I mean, it means a lot, and Willie means a lot to the Giants organization, and he is around, and he is always there at spring training. We would, I thought this was really cool, and I had never done this. They would get a big, sit down in the whole spring training when you had all 50 guys, and they would have Willie Mays up there. They would have, just all the guys. The Willie McCovey would come, and they would let us just ask him questions, and we'd be like, Willie, I remember I was having trouble with the changeup. I was like, how do you hit the changeup? You were able to, hit homers, and he's like, Hunter, you see it and you hit the heck out of it. And I was like, all right, don't overthink it. I love this. And then I asked him, I was like, Willie, what's the farthest homer you ever hit? And Willie looked at me and he goes, it doesn't matter how far it goes, just get it over the fence. And he just had all of this unique little style. And he was always just sitting in the middle of the clubhouse. Anyone that wanted to come up and talk to him, he would talk to you about hitting, about baseball, about his life. He's lived one of the most amazing lives, but he is just one of the best players to ever play the game. And he played for our organization. He shows up and supports it and shows out to the fans and the players as well. Just an amazing human. So it means a lot to me this day. And that's the first time in a century. We're only going to get 2-4 once. Why not?
That's right. That's right.
Hey, Hunter, when you talk about somebody like Willie Mays, I think there's a lot of people that could have modeled something after him. Your style of play was so unique. Did you ever look at anybody and say, I could do this? Because I don't think there's too many guys that actually try to emulate what you did on the field. But did you have anybody back in your day that you looked at and said, I want to try that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was a tinkerer, Billy. I was always trying everything. I remember even in Little League trying to straighten my front leg because I wanted to be like Bo Jackson. I would do the Julio Franco, I would get way up there. I was always trying, and when I was a big wanting to absorb from the greatest because there wasn't MLB Network and all the information that the greatest minds have to share. There was no internet doing the YouTubes of the greatest instructors. So I was on this search to figure out and to study hitting. My dad didn't really play baseball at all. So when I made it to the majors, I was asking Barry Bonds to lunch because I had the same agent. I went with Lance Berkman. I went with Carlos Lee. I went with, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard. I interviewed all of them. And what I ended up actually learning, which is weird, every time I tried to be like one of them, I got worse. And so I was like, oh, wait, I have to find out how to be myself. And that was kind of the weird quest of that. But I love that question. That's a great question. Did you?
Well, no, because I was just trying to survive every day, trying to figure out how I could stay on the 25th man roster. But my brother, he certainly tinkered. I don't know if he had more stances than anybody else ever played, but he wasn't afraid to try anything to maybe energize himself into something clicking on that given day. But there was some crazy stuff he did. But some of your on-deck circle swings and your little video that you put out there on how to not throw like me, I mean, those are classic things that I don't think we'll ever see again.
The knockdown 7-iron. And what's weird is I feel like I'm taking my same game swing. There is nothing that I'm trying to really feel my swing. And it mattered how that felt. You can see my mind really being invested in this. I am sorry, baseball world, but I don't know what that is. I don't know how to explain it.
It was a lot of fun to watch, man. That's for sure. Hey, tell us about, and we visited with you about this in the past. There he is. That's the endorsement we're looking for. The coffee brand, the coffee shop, and what you're up to now.
Yeah, so Coral Sword celebrated its 6th birthday this February 2nd, this weekend actually. And yeah, it's just, it's a place where, it's a games cafe. It's your friendly neighborhood games cafe. It's in Houston, Texas on Telephone Road over by U of H. And man, it's really grown. It's got a great community. I'm absolutely devastated. I missed getting out there this birthday, but they play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, indie board games. We serve coffee, tea, beer, and wine at night. And yeah, it's just plugging along, and we just really are enjoying the community that comes and plays. They play a lot of Magic the Gathering. I'm not sure if y'all have heard that there. It's kind of doing its thing. Pineapple Labs, you can check it out at dpineapplelabs.com. We're just we're serving basically some of the best coffee. If I don't get it, I get a little cranky. You also you're gonna want to have to try this coffee out. It's some of the best. Our sourcer David Buer works with Greenway Coffee, is absolutely amazing. He does the work. He goes to the farms. He makes sure that you're buying the coffee beans from good people that are supporting the communities, that are ethically, transparently, and sustainably sourced, and also tasting excellent. And it's constantly changing, so you're not going to get the same coffee every week or every month. And it's a lot of fun. It's a journey. It's very hard, but it's a passion of mine. I know you guys, y'all are into your coffees, right? You got to get your good coffee in the morning.
For sure. I don't know that our coffee checks all the boxes that yours does.
Yeah, I don't have to have good coffee. I just have to have coffee.
Have to have coffee. All right. Are you putting cream and sugar in there?
I want to ask you this before we have to say goodbye to you. Do all of your former teammates or any of your former teammates hit you up for coffee? And I ask because the image that we saw of you and Brandon Crawford at that football game we talked about, was he asking you during this shot? Was he like, hey, dude, will you send me some coffee? What are you holding out for?
I mean, I've sent a lot of them a lot of coffee. So, but you know what? It was actually awesome to see Brandon. They just had their new baby. You can see her in the back. That's little Jaslyn. Little Jazzy got to meet her in her cool shoes and the nice boots of Jalen, Brandon's wife. But yeah, you know who really gets the coffee is Jeremy Affelt and his brewing company. They did a cold brew beer with our coffee, which was really cool. So check out Buffalo Brewing Company, I believe it is. And then there it is. That's when we finished it. And I was losing my mind. Oh, no, that might have just been a touchdown right there. I remember.
I feel like that's equal parts coffee from your place and beer from Affelt's place.
There we go.
You know what? You got to have it all. You got to get the right mix.
Good stuff, man. Hey, it's good to see you, Hunter. Thanks for taking some time with us. And, for you, we'll say go Niners. And then when we have a Chiefs guest on later in the week, we'll say go Chiefs. But for this purpose, we'll say go Niners. Way to go, dude.
No, go Niners, baby. That's it. We're coming.
Keep that Kittle jersey on.